Some players in this draft class had their stock recently go up, while others had their stock, hold on, a little bit parched. That's better. Need some more. That's better. More water. More water is good. More is better. Woo! Let's go. 2017 NFL Draft. What's going on, NFL fans? I'm your host, Hussein the Brain, and you're watching The Couch. This is my 2017 NFL Mock Draft 3.0, the third mock draft I'm coming out with. I'm going to keep this video relatively short. We already did videos about the NFL Combine, and I already did 2 mock drafts, some longer videos if you want to check those out. For this video, I'm going to focus more on the risers, the fallers, and the sleepers. Every first round pick in this mock draft is down below in the description, so picks 1 through 32 are all down in the description, as well as links to those videos that I've mentioned. I'll also be displaying all 32 picks I made at the end of the video, but I'm not gonna go pick by pick. Let's go to the risers. Leonard Fournette, running back from LSU. This guy's stock has been rising according to just about everybody. A lot of people consider this guy the best player in this year's draft. Also, Scout has said on previous videos that there's a 2% chance the Browns don't draft Myles Garrett. I'd say about 1% chance they don't draft Myles Garrett. And he thinks it's possible that they would go with Leonard Fournette as the first overall pick. Even he knows that's unlikely, but that's just how good of a player this guy can be. I have him going number 4 to the Jaguars. If he doesn't, I mean, I don't even know if he'll make it that far. If he keeps falling somehow, he won't go past pick number 8 to the Panthers. I don't see how he'll go anywhere past that pick. But a lot of mock drafts recently had this guy going as high as number 2 to the 49ers. Now, a guy that I have that possibly going at number 2, I don't think the Niners will take him there. And by the way, this number 2 overall pick is the toughest pick to make for the 49ers and for people like me who are doing their own mock draft. They can literally take 10 people here. Fournette, whether it be a quarterback, Trubisky, maybe even Deshaun Watson, anybody. But Derek Barnett, I believe this guy's stock, he's just way underrated. I didn't see this guy go up on a lot of mock drafts, but I don't get it. I think he's good enough to be a number 2 pick. Maybe it's just the athleticism. I don't know. This guy just killed it in Tennessee. I watched tape on him. Yeah, they didn't double team him someplace, but man, this guy's amazing. And watching film, that's, I think, what should matter the most. Is he good on film? Is he a good pass rusher? Yes, this guy should definitely be a top 10 pick, and I believe he should be a top 5 pick. And I have 2 quarterbacks that I think stocks are rising with these 2 guys. That's Deshaun Watson and Mitchell Trubisky. The Jets don't really have a quarterback. Other teams need a quarterback, at least a backup. I think at pick 12, both of these guys will be already selected. I don't think quarterback will get selected at the number 1 spot. I don't even believe the number 2 spot for the Niners. I see Mitchell Trubisky going to the Jets at 6. Cleveland Browns at number 12. I think they'll take Deshaun Watson. I just think that's a good pick. Maybe even too good to be true. So number 6, Trubisky, and number 12, Deshaun Watson at the very latest for those 2 quarterbacks. Mike Williams, another guy whose stock is definitely rising. Maybe not quite a top 5 pick, a top 5 overall player in this year's draft, but he can go number 5 to the Titans, and I wouldn't be shocked. And I don't think that's a bad pick. Why? Because I think he is the best wide receiver in this year's draft. A little bit short supply of wide receivers. All the big names have already signed, like Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson went to the Bucks, Jeffrey went to the Eagles. There was no wide receivers in last year's draft. It was horrible. Laquan Treadwell played like 4 snaps the whole year or something like that. It was horrible. He was such a bust. There were no good wide receivers last year, and this year there are some really, really good wide receivers. There could be 7 or 8 wide receivers that start and have an impact on their teams this year. And Mike Williams, he's the best guy. His ceiling is like a Des Bryant and that's worth a top 5 pick. I don't see him going past maybe pick 11, pick 12. I don't think that's gonna happen. He's definitely gonna get drafted early. He is the best wide receiver. His stock should be rising. And that brings me to the fallers, whose stock is plummeting. I'm sure some teams are taking these guys completely off their boards, and I don't know if you got this stupid water joke I did. 2 guys have diluted samples. Like, what's up with this? Like, why are they urine test? Like, can't they do a better test than a urine test? They have this secret bathroom. I'm not an expert at this, guys, but I'm just picturing it through. So it's blocked off and someone's watching you from a distance, making sure you don't do anything sneaky, and these guys are drinking tons of water before it, which is a pretty good excuse. It could be total BS or it could be legit. Drinking a gallon of water for a professional athlete who's in shape, has a ton of muscles, drinking a gallon or a gallon and a half in one day isn't that big of a stretch, especially if they're sick and they're not feeling good and they're dehydrated. Hey, that's a valid excuse. That's definitely an excuse I would use if I got a diluted sample. Anyway, Reuben Foster, he had that combine incident where he yelled at some medical employee, whatever it was, and got sent home, and now he has a diluted drug test sample, which basically means he drank too much water and they couldn't detect anything, which is considered a failed drug test. And same thing happened with athletic freak Jabril Peppers from Michigan. He also had a diluted sample, so these 2 guys' stock probably will drop a little bit. If I was drafting, I mean, I could totally see it's the first round. You don't want to take a risk on a guy like that. But for me, both these guys are amazing, and regardless, I think they won't make it out the first round. Jabril Peppers was already a late first rounder. I think the risk is worth it. I think Jabril Peppers will go at the end of the first round. This guy's just way too talented. He can be a nickel corner. He can play strong safety. He can rush. He can basically do anything. He's even a pretty good return man and a good running back. And I think Reuben Foster is the best linebacker in this year's draft. There's no way he makes it out of the first round. I see him going in the mid first round, probably not a top 8 pick, but number 9 at the Bengals, that's where I have him. I think that's where he'll go. He's just too good of a linebacker to pass up. I think he'll go top 10, top 15 though. And we have just recently Gareon Conley, probably the second best cornerback in this year's draft. He's been accused of rape. And this is a serious allegation. It just came out today. I'm recording this Tuesday, just before the draft. We don't have a lot of information on this. I had him going at number 11 to the Saints. I don't see him going any earlier than that, but I put him down at number 14 on the Eagles. Not too much investigation has taken place at all yet, not that we know of. So he could go number 11 to the Saints, or maybe he'll plummet a lot. We have no idea right now as I'm making this video. I have 3 sleepers. There's so many, but I want to go over 3 guys that I really like and I think are severely underrated going into this year's draft, and I wouldn't be shocked if they get drafted way earlier than these other experts are saying they'll get drafted. My first sleeper is Fabian Moreau, a cornerback. He could be a top 5 cornerback in this year's draft class. His stock went down a little bit because he suffered an injury. He could be ready first week of the regular season. So his timetable that he'll be back is going to be about 3 to 5 months. If it's 3 months, I think you got a steal there. I'm thinking more long term. I think this guy's a first round talent, but he's expected to go towards the end of the second round. My second sleeper is Brad Kaya, Miami quarterback. I think he'll go maybe in the 3rd round, something like that. Now this is a guy the Giants or the Cardinals or a team would get if this quarterback fell to the 3rd round, maybe even in the 4th round. I just don't see him going in the 4th round. I think that's going to be super late for this guy. I don't think he'll fall that far. He's definitely not going to be drafted in the 1st round. He has all the tools, except he's a little bit smaller than a prototypical quarterback. So that's a con. Another con is his arm strength, but you can develop that. We saw a lot of great quarterbacks with not a lot of arm strength, or weren't drafted, or they had knocks on them in the draft. The scouting report had knocks on them because their arm strength wasn't strong enough. But we've seen how they panned out. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, the list goes on. And then we've seen quarterbacks with arm strength like Jamarcus Russell, who are complete busts. So a rocket arm is not everything. If he can develop this arm strength, he can be a great quarterback and actually be a good starter on a team and a late steal in the draft. Those two names were, I admit, they're a little bit more obvious. This one is less obvious. That's Dede Westbrook. This is a wide receiver, is super fast, 4.34 blazing 40 speed. On his pro day, he was not at the combine. He did get arrested twice in 2012 and 2013. There is a lot of risk. He's very small. Now, for a guy that could be going in round 6, round 5, or round 4, I think the risk is totally worth it. I don't think he's had any incidents as of late the past couple years, so hey, that's a plus. This guy is super fast. He's comparable to a Tavon Austin or Kenny Stills. His ceiling is up there with Deshaun Jackson. He's a pretty good return man as well. Blazing speed. Deshaun Jackson ran the 40 in 4.35, so very comparable. If it's a 4th round and this guy's available, I'm gonna get him. But hey, you can wait till the 5th round and this guy may still be available. Maybe even later than the 5th round. It's totally worth the risk, and I really like this sleeper right here. This wide receiver class this year is totally stacked, and a guy with a little bit of risk like this could slip, and that is all 3 of my sleepers for this year. All right, guys, those are my risers, fallers, and sleepers for this year's draft. It's going to be in Philadelphia. It's going to be outdoors for the first year. How cool is that? Anyway, here is all the 32 picks for the first round. This is my 2017 NFL Mock Draft 3.0, like I said before. Complete list is down below in the description with all the links and previous videos about this year's draft. If you missed them, I highly suggest you watch those. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys like for more NFL content. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that bell notification icon so you'll be notified when more NFL videos like this come out. I want you to leave a comment below. Let me know who you think is the most underrated player in this year's draft. So whether underrated or sleeper, however you want to call it, one player, please comment below. I want to know what you think. My guy is Dede Westbrook. Who's yours? I can't wait till fantasy football season. I know you guys can't either. I'm Hussein the Brain, signing off.
Oh. Crap.